Hello, I'm Michael Porter and you're watching Business Q&A. This week we look into how to go about unlocking growth, specifically cross-border trading in relation to the viable opportunities presented for entrepreneurs to access new markets. To take us through this discussion, I'm joined by executives from Absa, John Molanda, who is Head of Transactional Banking, Sales, Corporate and Investment Banking, and Vignesh Subramani, who is in charge of Relationship Banking and Sales Planning. John, I'm going to come to you first, just ask what is expected at the 2024 Absa Growth Summit, and why is it so important for Absa to be part of or host of this event?
Thank you, Michael. I mean, it's a great question. Look, the Absa Growth Summit is really a space for us to connect with our clients, first and foremost. And the big intention for us here is to create this connection point, to get our clients to connect with each other, but also, most importantly, to deliver insights around what kind of support is there from a trade perspective. And I suppose from an overall bank solutioning perspective. I'm quite excited because part of the thinking in this year's Growth Summit is saying, you know, we do need to be able to help our clients around their strategy piece, but also about their own individual motivations. Correct. So we have human potential experts coming in. We also have digital experts coming in. So I think it'll be a very fascinating summit. And again, we do it because we think it is important that we're able to support our clients.
Right, right. And Vignesh, tell us a little bit about what Absa is actually doing in assisting SME clients in terms of what they are. So it's a very ever-changing business landscape that we're dealing with both here and across Africa, especially when it comes to trade. So what are you guys up to?
Sure, Michael. So we know that business owners are obviously looking for growth opportunities, and our business offering is based on evolving with the business throughout its life cycle. But we also understand that different industries and different sectors require different levels of expertise. We have very specific sector specialists at Absa that can help our business customers do this. These specialists sit within the manufacturing industry, transport and logistics, as well as trade, as you've mentioned. And so we really ask our clients to leverage that expertise that sits there to help them with their growth plans. Secondly, very specific to trade and how we create those links across Africa is last year in October as Absa, we launched very bespoke offerings for youth and women in business. And within our She Thrives proposition, we have very specific partnerships. One specific one is the Lionesses of Africa, which is a Pan-African organization. And through our partnership, we've built in the ability for these entrepreneurs to get in touch with other like-minded entrepreneurs across the African continent to try and see how we create those links so that they can take their products and solutions, not just within South Africa, but across the African continent as well. So those are some of the things that we're doing in enabling that potential.
Okay, great. And John, in terms of looking at the summit specifically, what are some of the key sort of ideas and themes that you're expecting to see at the Absa Growth Summit this year?
So one of the themes is around how do we help our clients navigate external forces? Firstly, the overall theme for the Growth Summit is, I suppose, how do we enable clients to become a disruptive force in their particular industry? So all the elements around the agenda are surrounding that. So the first one is around, how do you make sure you're understanding your external environment to be able to take advantage of market opportunities and actually being this disruptive force in your industry. So that's one. Another one is around, how do you adopt a digital mindset? One of the things that we do know is that, in this current macro environment, you have got to be thinking about things differently. You have new technologies that need to be adopted. But beyond technology is around, what is the mindset that is required for growth? So that's part of the conversation. And the other big part of the conversation is obviously themes around specifically or more on a technical basis. What are some of the trade solutions that can actually help enable our customers to actually be able to take their goods and their products across the continent.
Okay. And Vignesh, in terms of that trade that is needed across the continent, the challenges, what are the key challenges that you see SMEs are facing currently in terms of the ability or relation to trade?
Yeah, challenges within SME are quite a bit, and I suppose in terms of zoning in on specific ones, and particularly the big ones for SMEs, is we often do come across the situation where cash flow becomes quite a big component for all SMEs. I think cash flow is the lifeblood of any business, and more specifically within the SME environment, we see that there's a need to enable the cash flow even more. When we speak about trade and working capital solutions, these are solutions that are designed to help SMEs with those requirements. But what we definitely see is sometimes business owners are they're so keen on solving the problem that they have, they often might run into a particular finance instrument, a particular type of solution. It's important to get the right solution to match the need that you're trying to fulfill. And it's really important that you get it at the right price, that it's structured in the right way, so that you make the business more sustainable in the long term,
yes,
as opposed to taking the first solution that comes to mind and then funding your requirement in a certain way, only to find that you solve that problem in the short term, long-term sustainability-wise, it's not that great. And so we're really saying, we have the solution, and sometimes unlocking the right solution might take slightly longer, and that's okay, but then you know that you're getting the right solution for your business. And that's where things like trade and working capital solutions are so important. So our ask is that we look for the right solution and give us that opportunity to do that for their business.
Right. And John, what are the trends that you're seeing in terms of business needs for small or SMEs in terms of trade?
Yeah, that's quite interesting, because one of the things that we do see, I think Vignesh spoke to it earlier. Firstly, you do see that because the South African environment growth is constrained, you have more SMEs or entrepreneurs actually looking for opportunities outside of South Africa. So that's one that we see as a definite trend. And because of that, customers then are looking for support around how to enable themselves to be able to I suppose, do business in the continent.
Yes.
That's quite critical. And I think Vignesh also spoke to, because of that, then, customers then tend to run into particular issues around their funding requirements, around their cash flow. So those are the key trends that we do see. And I think what we also see is that there's high demand actually in the continent for South African goods, whether you're talking agricultural goods, whether you're talking manufacturing goods. So we do see quite a lot. Even fuel is also becoming quite popular from a continent perspective. So we are seeing quite a lot of flows, quite a lot of demand from South African entities and entrepreneurs needing to do business. And obviously you then see the corresponding demand also from the continent for South African goods.
Right. And Vignesh, I mean, given the current economic environment, there's a lot of SMEs who are looking to do business cross-border, but that gives another layer of complexity to the actual business. How do they ensure that they remain resilient in this sort of larger environment?
So it's really important to have the right partners on board, and I think as your financial services, your financial institution, financial services provider is such a critical partner to have, and so even through the summit itself, it's about creating the right kind of collaboration, partnership, and dialogue to ensure that you're looking at the solutions that can help you become more resilient, and hopefully the summit will help businesses to be able to do that.
Okay, great. Gents, thank you so much for joining us. It's been great to chat to you. Well, that's all we have time for this week. Stay tuned for more Business Day TV programming coming right after the break.